What is up, my YouTube pals? I have a battle here against Skim28, and I had a few battles against him in Gen 6, you might recall. I believe this is the first time I'm battling him in Gen 7. At least it's definitely the first time it's being posted on YouTube. But yeah, he's a pretty cool dude and a good battler, so let's get into it. Alright, so you could see the teams there, and let's go ahead and get started, shall we? Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and lead with Bisharp, and yeah, I know that I made a team with Bisharp and Tapu, Lele, but I just want to, I figured I could play around it. Anyway, I end up getting this first matchup I wanted, which is pretty excellent. This Bisharp against Mew, which obviously is a Psychic type, so I'm just going to go for the knockoff. I don't expect him to stay in, but if he does, it should, even with a physically defensive Mew, do a lot of damage to the Mew. He ends up just going out into Weavile, which, despite the resistance, is still going to do a lot of damage to that, because Weavile is pretty darn frail. Now, I could have stayed in here and just went for the Iron Head, but I kind of expect a pivot switch or a low kick, and yeah, there is the low kick right there, so it's a good thing I decided to switch out. And I'm just going to go into Rotom, knowing that I can resist pretty much all of his stab moves, and obviously I take a low kick pretty well too. So he's going to try to go back into Mew now. I guess probably hoping that I was going for the Will-O-Wisp, predicting a bulky set so he could synchronize me, or just knowing that he could take anything with this Mew. It's definitely bulky. Probably mixed bulk too, by the looks of it. But I just go for the Volt Switch, which allows me to get the matchup again that I want, which is this Bisharp. And this time he's going to go and hit Powdon, as I just didn't continue to go for the knockoff. When he switched, I was kind of expecting Weavile, which I would have been okay with, because I could have killed it with Sucker Punch had he, after the damage from my second knockoff. But he ends up just going into hit Powdon, so I end up being able to knock off this thing as well, which is pretty darn good, and yeah, it's just a good feel. So I'm going to go into my Gliscor. I kind of knew that he would set up Stealth Rocks, and even if he decided to attack me, obviously I'm going to be immune to Earthquake, and yeah, he just set up his Stealth Rocks. I'm going to go ahead and set up mine as well, and yeah, he's just going to go and slack off as well to get his HP back, knowing that I would probably just go for the Rocks or something. I actually probably could have went for the Toxic here, and then went for the Stealth Rocks, but whatever. He's going to go out into his Mew again now, and this turn I go for the Toxic, which is more or less irrelevant because I Poison Heal, and I'm already poisoned, so he's not able to synchronize this, and getting the Toxic Poison off on the bulky Mew is definitely going to be good. The bad thing about this, though, is obviously he isn't forced to switch here, and he's going to be able to pretty much do whatever he wants with this Mew, and originally I thought this might be a Stealth Rocker since he led with it, but as you can see, the Hippowdon did, so it definitely probably has Defog, which I'd be okay with because he'd get rid of his own rocks as well, but obviously neither of our Stealth Rockers are dead, so he's going to go ahead and go for the Soft Boiled on my predicted switch, which is a good play. Or wait, no, well, he doesn't actually heal that much at all from that, but I guess he was thinking that I might EQ him or something. So I'm just going to go into Celesteela instead, because I really don't think he can do anything to my Celesteela. He's going to go ahead and knock off, though, so he gets rid of my leftovers, which is kind of annoying. But I do get the Leech Seed set up on the Mew, which is kind of nice, because with the Toxic Poison in the Leech Seed now, it's going to be taking some nice residual damage. And it's actually going to probably force him to switch. He probably does not want to stay in and take another round of residual damage now that the Toxic is starting to build up. So he is going to go ahead and retreat. And, yeah, he's going to go out into his Tapu Koko, which is obviously going to force my Celesteela to switch out. And I believe what I end up doing is just going for a Heavy Slam. And it is neutral against Tapu Koko because it is part Fairy. So, and Tapu Koko is not very defensive, so it actually does some nice damage to it as I go back into Gliscor now, hoping he'd go for the Volt Switch or the Thunderbolt. He ends up predicting this, going for the Dazzling Gleam, a pretty excellent prediction for him. And as you can see, it looks like it's going to actually kill Gliscor to a KO. I decide to stay in and, maybe after the Toxic Heal, risk it. I don't know. Maybe that was max damage. No, he's going to kill Gliscor. This is actually really not good. I really did not need to let that happen, and it's actually going to hurt me because he gets rid of my Stealth Rocker, so I'm not going to be able to set them back up if Defog does go off. So that's not really that great. So I'm going to go on to Bisharp now. And I don't want to over-predict at this point in the game. I decided just to go for the Sucker Punch. He does over-predict me again here, and another great prediction going out into Hippowdon. And he does that, confident, because even if I didn't go for a Sucker Punch, obviously Hippowdon would have taken the move pretty well. So I'm going to go back into Celesteela. This is going to hurt because this does give him a chance to, well, he actually double switches. So there you go. And he goes back into Mew, so I don't really think this is the switch he wanted, because I don't think his Mew really has much to do with my Celesteela. The worst he could do, conceivably, is Will-O-Wisp me, which would be a minor inconvenience to my Celesteela, and obviously would reduce the damage of my Heavy Slam, but honestly, I kind of can wither him down with, hazards with my Celesteela as well. So he is going to go for the Will-O-Wisp. That is kind of annoying because, at the end of the day, it's still good residual damage to my Celesteela, especially since he got rid of my leftovers as well. It makes it so the only way my Celesteela can heal itself is through Leech Seeds, so, like I said, it's not a huge deal, but it is going to be a little bit annoying. But I did set the Leech Seed up on the Mew, so I'm going to actually get more HP than I lose this turn, and this Mew is going to be, start dying sooner than later. It is super low on HP right now, and as you can see, all of the end-of-turn effects ever are happening, and there you go. It's going to go with the Soft Boy. I decided to go for the Heavy Slam this turn. I think it's probably the most efficient use of this turn, because Mew is obviously not very heavy, and I'm hoping, obviously I am burned, so that's going to lower the damage, and as you can see, the Mew takes that really well, which is now, kind of surprised me how well it took it. I know I'm burned, which is going to have my attack, but, Celesteela is the heaviest, or I think it is the heaviest Pokemon in the game, and Mew is obviously pretty light, so I'm kind of surprised that it took that well despite the burn. And, yeah, more end-of-turn effects. I feel like half this battle is end-of-turn effects, to be honest. But yeah, he's going to go ahead and defog now, which is a very, very strong play. He still has his Hippowdon, which is his Stealth Rocker. And I was actually predicting a switch here. Instead, he decides to sack Mew to get that defog off, and he needed to do it so he can set up Stealth Rocks, and he gets rid of my Stealth Rocks, and I cannot set them back up because I did let Gliscor die earlier. Like I said, it was a pretty big mistake at the time. Well, still is a mistake. So, yeah, it's just a solid play. It's going to cost him Mew, but Mew was Toxic Poison, so it's not, and it really didn't match up that well against my team anyway. He made a very good play with there. So he's going to go back into Tapu Koko now because he knows that pretty much, forces my Celesteela to switch. The other thing that the other good thing about it is that this Tapu Koko can now switch in and attack twice. Now, it is Life Orbed, and if it would have came in after the Stealth Rock, it would have only had one more attack left in it. Because he got rid of that, he's able to actually Volt Switch, and he still has another switch in here, and he can, conceivably attack again with that Tapu Koko, and obviously it hits pretty hard, so it's a pretty crucial element. He's going to go out into Metagross now, as I went into Tapu Lele to pretty much take whatever the Tapu Koko did. He's going to go ahead and Mega Evolve, which obviously it's going to be Mega Metagross. Why would it not be? And I just go into my Rotom Wash, which is the only thing I really feel comfortable switching in on this thing, with. So he is going to go ahead and switch out into his Weavile. I'm just Volt Switching, I believe, this turn, so that ends up being, I was looking forward to a switch advantage here. Now, he does have to, sack Weavile to do it, but now I have to reveal my Pokemon first, so he's going to be able to get another switch advantage here, although it does cost him his Weavile, which could have been used a later point because it is very fast to, get some revenge kills. Anyway, I go into my Latios. No matter what I go into, he's going to be able to go into a Pokemon I don't want to see, and he goes into Tapu Koko. Now, obviously, this thing has Dazzling Gleam. We saw it earlier. Latios does have really good special bulk, so I decided to try to stay in and just go for the Recover, and I do take it. Actually, I was actually expecting it to do a little bit more, so that's actually pretty good. I just go for the Recover, and I pretty much get most of my HP back. So that's not too bad. The Koko is down, and that's pretty cool. So he's going to go to Metagross again, and I really don't have much to do to this thing, so I'm going to go ahead and switch out. I go into my Celesteela again, hoping that he doesn't have Thunder Punch, because that would really hurt in the electric terrain. But he ends up double switching here into Victini, so he predicted my Celesteela switch, and once again, he is trying to overpredict, often. Or he really started the predictions early and often in this match, while I'm trying to just play it safe because I feel like I have, a bit of an advantage right now. I don't want to, make any costly predictions. So, I decided to go for the Protect. It is my last move on the Celesteela to see what it had, and it does have the Bolt Strike. So, obviously in the electric terrain, it's going to do a lot of damage, although I think a V-Crate would just do just as much, being that it's stabbed and super powerful. I don't know. Anyway, so I go for a Thunderbolt. I actually kind of derped here. I was kind of expecting to get a boost from it. Otherwise, I'd probably, due to the electric terrain, but that's actually not the case because you have to be grounded. The attacker has to be grounded in order to get the, electric attack boost from the electric terrain. and that does not apply to Latias, unfortunately. So I should have just went for a Draco Meteor there, would have done more damage. So he is going to go ahead and switch out, though, and he goes into Metagross here, and what do? I don't remember. I think, oh, I just go for the Recover, that's right. He went for the Glaciate, and actually, I took that pretty well, despite it being super effective. And yeah, here comes the Meteor Mash, and I did not take that well, and as you can see, he also got the attack boost, which is not fantastic. Yeah, that kind of sucks. I went for the Thunderbolt because I knew that I needed to get damage on this thing. I do have my Scarf Rotom Wash. I have Scarf Tapu Lele, and I have you know, my Bisharp that can hopefully kill this thing. But I needed to get a little bit of extra damage on it in order to you know, confidently be able to kill it with especially Rotom Wash and Tapu Lele with Shadow Ball. So I decided to pretty much sack Latias for that little bit of chip damage on Metagross, but I think it'll actually help later in the match. So that's the goal. So I just go for a Sucker Punch. Like I said, I don't want to over-predict. And he is going to make a pretty good switch here into Hippowdon, and he finally is able to set up those Stealth Rocks again. So I'm officially at a entry hazard disadvantage now, and for the rest of the match, really, because my Defogger was Latias. So I let my Defogger die, too, so not a really great decision by me, maybe. But no, looking back on it, I really did. I think I needed that, you know, Thunderbolt damage on the Metagross. Either way, gonna go for the Leech Seed. He is at this point, he's like, oh, if it's a Stall War you want, then you can get it. And he said to that in the chat. I'm like, wait, what, dude? Do you forget I have Toxic? Because I'm gonna win this pretty darn easily thanks to Toxic. He thought it was gonna be a Stall War, and as soon as he saw Toxic, he was like, oh right, the thing has Toxic, I guess, and he's going to go ahead and switch out. So, yeah, I wasn't trying to Stall War this Skim. Obviously, Celesteela matches up well against your Hippowdon because you can't really do anything to it. And I'm going to go for a Toxic again. Unfortunately, that first Toxic missed. I do get the Toxic on the incoming Victini, which is kind of whatever, because Victini is probably not very bulky, and well, you know, it's chip damage. Chip damage is always nice. However, yeah, I think, just to go for a Protect. Now, obviously, I'm going to take some extra burn damage by doing this, but I kind of want to see, you know, scout what it's trying to do, and he ends up going for the Energy Ball, so now I know he has that. I guess he was predicting, what is it? That, yeah, my Rotom Wash, but, pretty sure Bolt Strike would have hit it. I mean, I don't know. But that's probably what he's predicting, and he does switch it up to a Bolt Strike this turn. I wasn't really going to switch out anyway. The Protect also, you know, racks up another turn of, you know, Toxic Poison on this thing. But like I said, I really didn't want to switch out anyway because, you know, nothing can switch into this thing and take, you know, no damage. I really don't have a switch in. The best I can hope for is to try to Revenge Kill it here with Tapu Lele. So I go into that, and I am Scarfed, as I previously mentioned. I decided to go for a Shadow Ball because it hits Metagross and this Victini super effectively. However, because it's not stabbed, actually this Hippowdon is going to be able to take it pretty darn nicely. This Hippowdon actually appears to be invested in special bulk by the looks of it, and I don't get a special defense drop either, so that's really sad. So I have to switch out. I go into Rotom Wash, but I think I kind of have him on the edge here. I think I think I'm in a good position because I can go for a Hydro Pump now, no matter what he goes into. If he goes into the Metagross, obviously I can 2-hit KO with a Hydro Pump. If he stays in, this thing should die to a Hydro Pump. I don't care for that special bulk. It's dying to a Hydro Pump. Obviously his Victini would die as well. So he ends up staying in with the Hippowdon, and I'm able to get that crucial KO, and that's pretty cool. So he is going to go into Metagross here. I mean, obviously he can't go into Victini. And I will outspeed him. I have to hope that I hit with this Hydro Pump, and I do, which is great. Unfortunately, it's not quite enough to KO the Metagross. He's able to get off that Zen Headbutt and kill my Rotom. However, I am going to go into Tapu Lele now, and mind you, I'm going to Tapu Lele instead of Bisharp because the Psychic Terrain is still up, but it doesn't actually reset switching back in Tapu Lele, so it's down to just a few turns left, so I need to go into Lele first in order to secure the win. So yeah, I'm just going for that Shadow Ball, take out that Metagross, and yeah, the Sandstorm goes away and the weirdness goes away. So even if he somehow is able to KO this thing, which with his Victini, which I don't think he can, I can still just go into Bisharp and be able to Sucker Punch him. But yeah, Tapu Lele is just going to finish it off. So good game there, Skim. Definitely a Mind Games match. And we're going to have to do another one real soon. Really, really, really good match. So today's question of the day is, what is your least favorite starter Pokemon? So yeah, we've been doing question of the days with least favorites, and starters tend to be the most popular Pokemon in general in the series. And you can pick a starter because you don't like its final form or its base form, whatever it is. As for me, it's Oshawott. I never thought that thing looked anything but just like giant doofus thing. And you know what? It's worse than the Gen 7 water starter. I don't know why they decided to make water starters, in recent generations just look goofy, but apparently that's what they decided to do. Like Froakie is pretty goofy too, although its final form, Greninja, is obviously pretty cool. So, leave a comment about that, and see you guys next time. Later. Also, if you want to battle with me, definitely go ahead and check out my Twitch channel. The link is in the description, or my Discord. Both of those links are in the description. You can hang out in Discord. I accept most of my battles on Twitch. In fact, I'm going to stream for a short little while later this evening. So if you wanted to come out for that, I'm probably actually going to be playing Oregon Trail 2, which I haven't actually played on stream for a while. So if you're interested in that, there you go. And I'll probably accept a couple battles after that. So yeah, that's all I have to say. Later.